Hello guys, I am Harshal Vora and you are watching Spoken Essays, and like I said before, we are going to continue with our freeCodeCamp tutorial where we learn basic JavaScript. Till now we have finished 90% of the basic JavaScript course. Of course, that doesn't mean that we have learned 90% of the basic JavaScript. We still have to apply those things. We have to keep them in our active memory, and to do that we have to practice a lot many times than we think. So having said that, let us continue from where we left off yesterday, 2 days ago, and let us set a goal to finish at least 10% of the rest of the basic JavaScript course for this life. And you guys will be with me. You guys will always be have my support, so I really appreciate your support. And you can also show your love by donating on our Patreon page or on our UPI ID. Anyone's watching, anyone's interested in doing that, you are welcome to do it. If you feel like these videos do help you, these videos do benefit what you're learning and benefit with your learning, and what we can do is I'll share my screen with you guys again and we can continue from where we left off. And you can see the moment I started speaking, a bird in the background started chirping, and I think guys mention in the comments which if you know which bird this is, and we'll find out together. Moving on, let me share my main screen with you and we will start right off from where we were. So I'll click on main. You guys can see my freeCodeCamp. This time I don't need to refresh my OBS page. So we'll go here. This is the page. This is where we started learning JavaScript. You can see this is the logo. This is JavaScript's I couldn't say logo, you can call it an icon. So JS, if I write JS, okay, that was one of the previous searches. You can see this is what JavaScript's logo is. You can see that, and you can also see this is also what JavaScript logo is. So the same way they've made a JavaScript logo with the white background. Yeah, nothing to worry about. Okay, moving on, we learned basic JavaScript. In that we have finished 102 out of 113 lessons, projects. They're not projects, they're lessons, and this is what we've been learning. So okay, can you guys see that code? Yes, you can. Okay, great. That is good news for me. Okay, we learned how to comment, single line comment and multi-line comments, and we learned how to declare variables, and we learned so many things, so on and so forth, so many things. Half of these things I'll probably not remember in the next week, or maybe if I keep practicing, maybe because of FreeCodeCamp I will learn that. And I would like to also shout out to Yogen Sir's channel, Mr. Yogen Shah, who introduced FreeCodeCamp to me, and because of him I've been able to learn any of this at all of this. We went through the golf code, we went through counting cards did take some time for me to understand. Record collection took the longest time, if I can remember. There were a few projects that took an hour and a half for me to understand and write the code for them. But yeah, we are here now. We learned how to build do while scripts the last time. This was the easiest thing as far as I remember. Basically we just copied and pasted some code, and we added some code in it, and that helped us finish the step, or I would say the lesson. Okay, we'll go with replace loops using recursion now, because I saw that it wasn't finished yet. Let's read this. What does this say? Recursion is the concept that a function can be expressed in terms of itself. To help understand this, start by thinking about the following task. Multiply the first n elements of an array. So we will not understand this completely by reading this one sentence. We'll have to practice this a lot many times, hopefully a few times. But it says recursion, so let's find out what the meaning of recursion is, so maybe we can get a better idea of what we are going to code, and of course practicing it will help us understand more. So what does recursion say? It means, well, there's only one meaning, there are not different meanings, there's only one meaning, and it says the repeated application of a recursive procedure or definition. So repeated application, एक चीज़ को हम बार बार apply करेंगे of a recursive procedure. So now I have to find out what recursive means. I think it's something related to recursion, repetition. Let's see, recursive. Sorry guys, yeah, yesterday was I had a blast. I went out, I worked out a lot. I was out of the house, so to speak, for the whole day, literally the whole day. Yeah, so yeah, that's why you can see that I'm live. I am usually live about an hour early, but today I came a little bit late. Anyway, so what does this say? Recursive, relating to or involving the repeated application of a rule, definition or procedure to successive results. I see that's in mathematics. And what does it say in computing? Relating to or involving a program or routine of which a part requires the application of the whole. So that its explicit interpretation requires in general many successive executions. So we have to recurse it. And we can also see some images in here. Maybe that image will help us understand. Oh, so this must be a meme, or maybe there's some explanation. So this reminds me of XKCD. You see there's a relevant XKCD for absolutely every situation. Oh yeah, I bet there is an accessible relevant XCD. Of course, we're in it. So they're trying to create a meme for us to understand, but I don't know what XKCD means. But I can see recursion here again. So maybe loops, infinite loops, or maybe you apply one thing infinite times. We'll find out. I'm not sure what recursion means yet. Maybe we'll practice it a little bit and then we'll understand it. Of course, there are several images, several instances for us to understand it in a much better sense. I can even use ChatGPT for me to understand. And you know what? The moment I mention ChatGPT, let's try to ask ChatGPT what recursion means. So I'll open chat.openai.com. In it, I'll write explain to me what recursion means in as if I'm a 5-year-old. I like that. And in coding, let's say, or I could simply write Java as if I'm a 5-year-old. Sure. And they gave us a 5-year-old's whoa, that's good. Okay, let's read this. Sure. Imagine you have a big box. I have a big box with smaller boxes inside it. Each smaller box is exactly the same as the big box. What? Each smaller box is exactly the same as the... Okay, it's the same as the big box. It has the same properties, but the only property that is different is its size. It also has even smaller boxes. So each small box has also smaller boxes inside it. They're the same. For infinity, recursion in Java is kind of like that. It's when a piece of code calls itself to solve a problem. A code that calls itself to solve a problem. It's like having a set of instructions that say if you have a problem, use this instruction to solve a smaller version of the problem. If that smaller problem is still too big, use the same instructions again to solve an even smaller version of the problem. This process keeps going until the problem becomes small enough to solve easily. Okay. Let's say we want to count the number of fingers on our hand using recursions. We start with the entire hand, then we say if I fold one finger, how many fingers will be left? We apply the same question again and again, folding one finger at a time until we reach a point where we can easily count the fingers that are left. Then we add up all the answers we got from each step to get the total number of fingers. So we folded 5 fingers, so then that means, and after folding 5 fingers, there's no finger for us to fold. So that means we have 5 fingers. Okay. Then we add up all the answers we got from each step to get the total number of fingers. In Java, we write code that calls itself to solve a problem in a similar way. It's like having a method that says if you have I think it's repeating itself. This keeps happening until the problem becomes small enough to solve directly. Recursion can be a powerful tool in programming because it allows us to break down complex problems into simpler ones. Just like opening boxes within boxes, we can keep breaking down a problem until it becomes easy to solve. Pretty clear, but let's see the application of it in code. Maybe we'll understand how to solve a problem using code with this. Okay, so what does this say? To help understand this, start by thinking about the following task. Multiply the first n elements, let's say first 5 elements of an array to create the product of those elements. Using a for loop, you could do this. So we have a function here. The function has the name multiply and it takes 2 arguments. One is an array and the second is an n. This n will probably be a number. Okay, let's see. What does this say? In this function, the first thing it will do, the first step, it will when called, it will declare a variable. This will be a local variable. In this local variable, the value of the product will be 1, and after that variable has been declared, it will begin with the next step. The next step is to create a for loop. You can see the for loop here. This is the for loop. In this for loop, another variable is declared. There is a the variable is called I. It has a value 0, and it will check whether I is greater than or well, it is less than 1. Let's say if our number is 5, I is 0, so it is less than n. Oh, so we're literally telling it to run how many times, the number of times. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. We're telling it to run this number of times, n number of times. Let's say I want this array, this function to run 5 times or 6 times, then it will run it 5 or 6 times. Very cool. I understand this. What else does this say? So instead of letting it run for infinity, let's letting the for loop run for the infinite number of times. You are limiting it to n number of times. Pretty cool, pretty clear. Then I plus plus, of course, to add the number, so I plus plus. So yeah, that loop, yeah, we understand that now. And in the true column, true curly bracket, so this is where this function will run in the for loop if this value turns out to be true. So what does this say? Product, and they have a multiply operator. I forgot the name, but you use the operator to multiply the value. So what will it do? Product equals product multiplied by array I. So first it will multiply 1 with the first item of the array, whatever it may be. Then as the loop continues, this will become 1. So then it will multiply product with the next value of the array, which would be the second value of the array, or the 0th and the first value of the array, if you want to call it, if you want to speak about it that way. Then what will it do? Yeah, and then it will end. The for loop will end as long the moment this becomes false. And when it returns false, it will go to the third step. The third step mentions return product, so it will return product soon after this for loop finishes. And yeah, so this is an example of a recursion using a for loop. Okay, however, so now they're saying, however, so something might be amiss, or there might be a better way. However, notice that multiply is equal to, if you see this, so this function called multiply, which takes 2 arguments. Oh, sorry, yeah, just a second. Okay, no problem. So what does this say? However, multiply, so argument, and the multiply 2 arguments. So this is the function that we read. So notice that this function, this is the equality operator, so is equal to, well, it's not multiply array n minus 1 into array n minus 1. So what does this do? So let's think. So yeah, because these these are 0 based indexes, the arrays are 0 based indexes. So if we write it this way, so if you multiply n minus 1 and multiply you use the array and then you do this n minus 1 and then you multiply with array n minus 1. So you are multiplying the last value, if you think about it, n minus 1, because it would be, yeah, the last value. Oh, I see what you mean. That means you can rewrite multiply in terms of itself and never need to use a loop. So if you write this, basically you won't need to write a loop. So let's read this code and understand what they are saying, what it's saying. So function multiply, then we have whatever, let's say 0 to 5, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 6 numbers, so I write in the n 6. If n is less than or equal to 0, which it is not, it will run the else. If it is, it will just simply return 1. That means there's nothing to multiply. If there are numbers that's more than 0, then it will run the else. In else, we can see we have inside the curly brackets we have return, so it will return, and inside return they've already put the function. So what does this do? multiply array, so 0 to 1 to 3 to 5 minus n minus 1, so that would be 5 in this case. So array n 5, so it will run this. Oh, you can see it's recursive. Oh, and you multiply that value, whatever this multiply function runs, with array n minus 1. So array the fifth value, let's say the fifth value would be the last value if you think about it, the 0th and the first and the fifth. So array n minus 1, that would be the fifth value, which would be the number 5. So you're multiplying array n minus 1. Wow. Okay, so this will run in a loop if I think about it. Yeah, it will, until we reach this. The moment value of n. Oh wait, no. Oh wow, I have no clue what or how this will what result this will give. So let's see. The recursive version of multiply breaks down like this. In the base case, in the base case, okay, so this is the base case where n is less than or equals to 0, it returns 1. Yes, it does. In the base case, yeah, it does. For larger values of n, yeah, so if it's larger, it will run the else. It calls itself, so it will call itself. Yeah, oh, literally, because this, yeah, it will call itself. In this case, it will call itself. Yeah, you can see where it's called. You can see that it is calling itself here. It calls itself, but with n minus 1. So here, when the function is called, the value of n is 1. Sorry, n is whatever the user enters. But when you run the function and after the base, it will run the function. It will call the function in this manner. It will say array. So keep the value of the array, but make it minus 1. Make the value of n minus 1. Okay. That function call is evaluated in the same way, calling multiply again until n. Yes, so it will call that call this function again and again until this eventually becomes 0 or minus 1. I think, yeah, it says less than or equal to 0, so it will, yeah, until it eventually becomes 0. That function call is evaluated in the same way, calling multiply again. Yeah, at this point all the functions can return the original multiply return, and the original multiply returns the answer. Oh, because we have this, so it will select the last letter number 5 in the array, if you're thinking of the array that I prepared. So it will multiply 5, then 4, then 3, and 2, and then 1, and then, well, not 0, but then it will become 0, but yeah, and then 1. So we have the answer because of this asterisk and the number. Okay, now what else does this say? Recursive functions must have a base case when they return without calling the function again. In this example, this, when otherwise they can never finish executing. Okay, write a recursive function sum array number that returns the sum of the first n elements of an array. Okay, let's try to write this. Let's try to, maybe if I can copy and paste this, I will also, if I rewrite this, I will have achieved the goal, but I still am not clear what this does. So we'll also keep this. Maybe we can revisit it in one of our sessions. So I'll write some array. We write if. We'll use the if statement and first n elements of an array. So let's write first n element. So we are going to write if. Inside the if statement, I write n less than or equals to 0. Then in the base case, we ask it to return 1. Sorry, not return n. return 1 semicolon. After this I press enter again, not press enter now. I will first enter the else statement. In the else statement we open another curly bracket and we write return, and in this, oh sorry, that is a typo, return, and we ask it to call the sum function again, but this time it will be n minus 1. The array will stay the same, but n will become n minus 1. Okay, and then we multiply what? So we multiply this and we multiply an array. Which value we will multiply? We'll multiply the nth value of the array, sorry, n minus 1 the value of the array. You can see they have not given us an array. Maybe we can try putting one to see what this function will return. Okay, so that's what we are doing. First, n elements of an array. It will call itself every time the value until the value becomes 0, and then it will return 1. Let's see if we call this function. Console.log semicolon. This will return should equal 0. This returns 1. Interesting. I don't know if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Let's see. We have an array. It will multiply 1 with 1. So yeah, 1, but 0. If n is run, it should return 1. So should equal 0. What do you mean equal 0? Yeah, but n is equal to 0, so it will return 1. So it should return 1, but it should equal 0 too. Yeah. Now what will this do? Wait, we are summing or multiplying? This is multiplying. We are summing. Interesting. Okay. Now let me paste this. Array is not defined. Because we are adding, aren't we? So when it's 2, 3, 4. Interesting. Semicolon, please. Yeah. So it shouldn't throw an error. It should instead give us the value equals to 4 into 3 into 2. 4 plus 3 plus 2. What? If you're summing it, why should it equal 2? First, returns the sum of the first n elements. First, yeah, so 1, if you're using 1, then this should return, yeah, this should equal 2, because we're only summing the first element. So literally it's 0 plus 2, so it should equal to, that makes sense. The test is, yeah, the test makes sense. So what are we missing here? Instead of 1, should it return, what will it return? We haven't declared a variable if we wanted to return the value. Returns the sum of the first n elements of an array. So it seems not, only changing this doesn't help us. If I run the test, only one worked for each one. Yeah. So So we didn't use recursion to solve this problem, so it understand that we didn't apply recursion clearly. Let's read this. I literally rewrote the multiply function in here. What does this do? Let's run this with us, by us, so we can understand what they're doing. So we call the sum function. This value isn't 0. N is not equal to 0. N does not equal to 0. So we run the else where the sum is. So array 1, and it will add the value n minus 1. So जो भी sum है, whatever the value of sum is, it will add array and the 0th value, which is the first value 2. After the moment it's done, it should stop. It will return the if statement again, go to the if statement again, where it will check whether n's value is less than or equal to 0. If it is, it will return 1. Otherwise it will call the sum function again to do it. But the next, so this will equal to 4 and not 1. What do we make? If we make this 1, what will it happen? No tests were complete, but we used recursion to solve the problem. Okay, so we did this and it solved recursion. How? If n is, then return 1. So we didn't need to call this function when I made this one. So let's keep this 0. Yes. Now what does this mean? Array is not defined. Where is array? Oh yeah, obviously this is, it should be ARR. Let's see. Still this doesn't solve the problem. Excuse me. Yeah. How and why does this not solve the problem? Let's see. If statement n, so 1 is 1 less than or equal to 0? No, it is not. So it will run the sum function again. Well, inside this function it will run this if statement again. If not, then it will run this again. But it will keep adding. So let's see, it will call this function with value n minus 1. So that's 0. So array and 0, and inside this it will call that. What if I make this minus 1? Still no, but it is still recursive. Oh sorry, 0. Sum of the first n elements. Sure, spacing has nothing to do with this, but yeah, I'll keep the spacing, put the spaces. So array n minus 1, I can't even see what it's printing. So instead of return, I write console dot log to see what it's printing. It's printing 3. So what does this do? This says when 2, 3, 1 and 1, it should equal to, this equals 3. What if I make this n minus 2? It will still return 3. If I make this n minus 2, it will return na, not a number. Something we have to do with you. This will return 4. This will return maximum call stack size exceeded. So n minus 1. Now let's try n minus 1. This will return 4. If I make this 2, it will still return 4. If I make this 3, it will still return 4. If I make this 4, What if I make this n minus 3? Not a number, n minus 2, not a number, n minus 1, 3. Wow. What if I make this 1? It will return 1 and it won't do anything else. If I make this minus 1, it will print this function twice. Yeah. Now we have 2 viewers. Thank you for watching, both of the viewers. I'm trying to understand how to solve this. Trying, not understanding. Are we to return anything else? No. Okay. Why do you return 3? Let's understand what goes on. How does this run? How do you run? So we have an array equal to 3 1 and the value is 1. The n's value is 1. So first it will run the if statement. Well, the only thing it will run is the if statement. It will check whether 1 is less than or equals to 0. It is not. If it's when it's not, it will run the else statement. In this we will this is console log, whatever. This will say, what will it will call the sum function again, where it will take the argument, take this as an argument and change this value to n minus 1, so it will make this 0. Okay, now what will it do? Now it will add this with this before running the if loop again. So what will it do? Array n minus 1. What will this mean? So n minus 1 is the 0th value, so it will add 2 to this, but inside this is already a loop. Of course, if I do this, it will return 2. Yeah, but that's not what we want to do. We're supposed to understand the logic. If I do this, it will still says, oh yeah, let's remove you, by the way. If I make this return again, if I run this will in fact give us the answer, but now we also have to understand you guys. So if I press Ctrl Z a few times, yeah, instead of this, now let's make this 1 and let's make this 0. So then n is equal to 0, then it should equal 0. Oh, so then this cannot be 0, because if we run my 1 and 0, then this won't run, it will return to 1. So yeah, minus 1, not a number anymore. If n is greater than or less than or equals to minus 1, it will return 1, else it will do this, run this function. Or if I remove u, now will still say not a number, because now it has become minus 1 and that has no value. Now this should equal 0, but it doesn't say 0, and then it won't run if this value is given, because it will return 1 and it will close the function. So instead of returning 1, we wanted to return a sum. Let me reuse you, my friend. Maximum call stack size exceeded. So we are doing something that we are not supposed to. What is it? Oh yeah, because this should be n, not negative. No, yeah, let's leave the log. But it won't then add the sum. Is it even? Oh, there are 2 semicolons, we don't need that. It should equal 0, not 1. Why should it equal 0? If you're taking the first value, the 0th value, if you say so, why should it return should equal 0, not even return 0? It should return the value 0 and not 1. So we have this sum function. It will call this if statement. In this if statement it will say n is that, yeah, that is true. So in the true condition it will return console.log array n plus 0. Wait a second. What if I make this n? It still returns 1. Obviously, if I do this, it will return 0 in fact. But then what about you? What will this return? It will return 2 values. We already know what 0 is for. 0 is for this. If I do this, yeah, console.log 1. If I comment you, yeah, thought so. We don't want it to do that, do we? Console.log sum array n minus 1 plus array n. So I'm literally adding 0 to what? Should I store this in a variable? Let h equals, if you're summing with 0, h equals 0. Return, oh sorry, yeah, console log is important. H equals to this. Oh, that is a complicated piece of code. I am overcomplicating it, I think. Let's move you again. Okay. Oh yeah, there will be a point where it will return this. So yeah, you're not supposed to play with this, then bye. Now sum 2, 3, 4 should equal 2. This is 3. We are back to the problem again. What am I missing? That's an error. Why is it an error? Oh yeah, brackets, sorry. Exactly, maximum call stack size. We exceeded n plus 1. Again maximum, yeah, because it will loop it. Yeah, I don't want that. Sorry. Z. Oh, sorry. What is it you're doing that makes you 3? Where are you adding that one from? So it will take me the first value. If there's some silence, if I needed to think, you know what, I'll play some music for you guys. You guys don't need to look at me agonizing over this. I mean, you can watch me agonize over this, but yeah, why don't you also listen to some music while you watch me? We have one comment from Hypocrisy Hunters. Hello Hypocrisy Hunters, how are you? We haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for joining. apparently I figured it out. So this is the way the code should have been written. I understand why this should become 1, this should become 0 and not 1. Maybe there are better ways to do this. Probably, most probably, yeah, there are. So what I did is I changed this from 1 to 0. What happens is when you call this function, let's say when your command said, okay, थोड़ा समझ आया, शायद नहीं समझ आया तो आप लोग भी हैं. Basically whenever it calls this function again, this is a loop. तो जब n-1 करते तो इसकी वैल्यू 0 होती है, तो वो एक रिटर्न 1 करता है. So when this function is called, this value is 1 because we return 1, so this becomes 1, and 1 plus whatever the first item is 1, so then because of that it gives us the answer 2 instead of 1. Now I don't understand why they are saying should equal 0. So if we choose the value of the array n-1, this will give us the answer 2, but I'm not sure why they're telling us why this is correct. But yeah, that should equal to, because we're not choosing any value, any number of elements. Oh, then it will, in this case it will simply return 0, because yeah, when it goes through the if statement it will check for 0, yeah, obviously. But in the other cases, let's take u. If we write this, there won't be an answer because there is no console.log. If I write console.log here, will it give me the answer? Oh, sorry, semicolon, yeah. So if you see here, this will give us should equal to. So yeah, that is true. Why? Because let's think of this, let's go through this. If I'm going to use the pointer to show you guys. So we have 2, 3, 4. There is an array that has 3 values, 2, 3 and 4. We wanted to sum till the first value, or the this. So nothing else really. So it will run the if function. Is the value of m 0? No, it is not. So it will run the else statement. In the else statement we have this sum, which will call this value, call this function. Now the moment you make it n-1, this becomes 0, array and 0. So when it calls that function, we're not going to jump to this yet. So when it calls this function again, it will run the if statement first. When it runs the if statement, it will find out the value of n has become 0. So yes, so when it runs the true statement, it will return 0. So this will become 0, and then we add 0 to array n-1. So n-1 is 0, so it will add the 0th value or the first value, because they're 0 based indexes. So then this will become 0 plus 2 equals 2. So it will definitely return 2. Good stuff. We learned this nicely. I'm sure there are better ways to write this code. If anyone in the comment knows, they're welcome to help. But because I was only copying this, I was rewriting this, that's why I couldn't understand this. Of course this is for the multiplication, this is so that's why they're using 1, so it will multiply 1 with whatever value comes next. I understand that, but for addition we need a 0 because we're adding it, so we cannot add 1 to that, so then it will become 3, this will become 3, and then it won't return 2. I understand this is very cool. Understand how this work. I still do not understand the concept of recursion yet, but I understand how this code works and what we can do to make it work. Let's go back. I'll delete this. We were not supposed to change anything, and 91% is complete. Okay, now it says profile lookup. We can see that we have an object called contacts, just like the contacts in your phone, as I think, and each contact has a property, has 4 properties: name, first name, last name, number, and likes. So let's say Akira likes this and their phone number is this, and then Harry likes Hogwarts, Magic and Hagrid, and then his phone number is this. Sherlock, okay, I don't know what who or Akira Lane is. Maybe it's like one of the fictional characters. Let's find out. Akira Lane is a full stack JavaScript engineer. So she must be a part of freeCodeCamp. You can see Akira Lane, Darth Meme, Akira Lane on CodePen, Beauty. You can understand Akira Lane is probably the one who wrote this lesson for us. Thank you, Akira. I could be wrong, but Akira likes pizza coding and brownie points. Very nice. Okay, moving on. We have Christian was probably Christian, but with a K. They like JavaScript gaming. Maybe he helped them with this. Okay, yeah. So that's the object called contacts. We have sub objects. I don't know what to call it. They don't have any name. Those objects don't have any names. Okay, no problem. So this is an array. Inside this array, we have different names. Okay. Lookup profile name. Interesting. You know what, before I do this, let's read this. What does this say? We have an array of objects representing different people in our contacts lists. Yes, a lookup profile function that takes name and a property as arguments has been pre-written for you. Thank you. Yeah, we see this. The function should check if name is in actual contact's first name. The function should check if, okay. The function should check if name, whatever the name, Akira for example here, is in actual contact's first name. So we're supposed to verify it, and the given property prop. Oh, so either of them. If we write property, so it will check from all three of these. So Akira likes. एक second. Oh, sorry, not that. Property, the property, not the value. Sorry, I made a mistake. And the given property is a property of that contact. Okay, so you are checking whether a property called likes exists or not. In the same way, whether a property with the name of the first name, a property called first name, does have this as value in this contacts list. Okay. If both are true, then return the value. Oh, nice. If के अंदर दो, if both are true, तो हम लोग double ampersand operator use करेंगे. That is also the logical AND operator. So we'll use the logical AND operator to find out if both are true, then return the value of the property. If name does not, it's not only that. If name does not correspond to any contacts, then return no such contact. If prop does not respond to any valid properties of the contact found to match name, then return the string no such property. Now we are going to have one big headache. Oh, I can see we have 4 viewers. Hello all 4 viewers. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Okay, and what? We're going to have to write multiple if statements. It doesn't say if they're not true, do this. We're supposed to write, are we to write 3 if statements? Let's say, because this is for each individual value, I cannot write if statement for each individual value or the argument. I cannot, or maybe I don't know how. I don't know which way how to say it. Okay. But it should return the string no such property. That is the easiest thing to write, really. The rest will probably be the hardest. Oh, sorry. Double quotes, no such property. It should return no such property twice. We should find a way to make it. Oh yeah. Oh, it shouldn't say no such property. This will say no such contact. Yeah. We wanted 2 different outputs of these if statements, so we are going to write 3 if statements indeed. Okay, so space please. If the this and then that. Okay, a equals 0. Okay, ठीक है, for now. If it is true, do this. If it is not, do this. Nope. If it is not, do nothing. Yeah. Then another if statement where it will check here whether okay. Yeah, but this should be in an else statement. Okay. If this does run, you will write or do this. Sorry. If this turns out does not correspond, then you write this. If it does correspond, you do this. Is there a rule? I think we are probably supposed to use the recursion. If not, let's see if we can write it without the recursion and then try to optimize it so that it becomes recursive. If not, I think I can pull this off. What does this say? The function should check if name is an actual contact. Is an actual contact's first name. So let's write the first if statement. Before I do that, let's also write the third if statement. If whatever. Oh yeah, I already have that. Sorry, I've already pasted that. Else in the curly brackets. Yeah. Okay, so that's the first if statement, second and third. Okay. The function should check if name is an actual contact's first name. Pretty easy to do. Or maybe I think it's easy to do before I write it. Let's see. A name. तुमने जो नाम डाला is an actual contact's first name. Is an actual contact's first name. भाई इसमें से contacts में से तू ढूंढेगा अकीरा, हैरी, हर एक में से वो चेक करेगा. ओके. वो कैसे करेंगे? Let's see. Okay, let's write this and give ourselves reason to think otherwise, or in different direction, or in a different direction, not otherwise. What am I even saying? Okay. So name is equal to a name whether it exists. We're literally using the we're searching for a name. पहले तो look up, so it will search for a name. So what does the name mean in this lookup? क्या लिखेंगे? What is this called? It's called contacts. CONTACTS. क्या बोल रहा है? इसको कुछ तकलीफ है क्या? हाँ, कॉन्टेक्स्ट में तकलीफ है उसका. $% हटाते हैं अभी के लिए. क्या? Okay, slowly I'm starting to get this. First it should check the first value, then the second value, and then the third value, the n number of values. N number of values from this entire list. It only has 3 options, but from the entire list. Whenever it returns true, it should return the value of that property. What? But we are literally asking it to return the name of the property. What are you saying? The function to check if name is an actual contact's first name. So that's true if it's true, and the given property prop is a property of the contact. Okay, अगर दोनों सच निकले तो जो भी लिखेंगे हम इस पे लिखेंगे. क्या लिखेंगे? Then return the value of that property. Which property? You mean this or this? Oh, you can read this. You can see lookup profile if we write Christian and last name. अच्छा, तो Christian की वो अच्छा तो ये निकालना है. Okay. So it should return. Oh, that is some complicated piece of code. Let's understand. अच्छा हाँ, बट अभी क्रिश्चियन, अच्छा अकीरा लिया है और लाइक्स लिया है, तो चलो देखते हैं। अकीरा लाइक्स में से सारे उठाने हैं। अच्छा पूरा अरे प्रिंट करके रख देना है, ठीक है। सो वी विल प्रिंट द एंटायर अरे। सो इन कॉन्टैक्ट्स what will you print? In contacts you go to the 1 to the third value and then you return what likes, or I should say prop, but we don't know which number, so this will become a loop. I see. And where will we store this value? Where will we put this value? Oh yeah, it has to. Okay. चलो हाँ, हार्ड करके देखते हैं सो क्या है तेरे को चाहिए, क्या चाहिए। कॉन्टैक्ट्स अकीरा इज़ द फर्स्ट वैल्यू 0 and I have to check whether the 0th value of name contacts is true or not. It's true, so now it will return what? Oh, where is A? Oh yeah. What do you mean A is not defined? A is literally defined here. Let's comment these values. We use slash asterisk and then asterisk slash. Okay. Of course it won't return it. It's supposed to print it, aren't we? Oh, sorry. Semicolon should be here. It says undefined when we do this. So when we look up a profile Akira, the name is Akira equal to contacts 0 and first name. We should also write first name, shouldn't we? And the first property. Oh, is it always the name? Yes, it's always the name. Good. So that's not the way. Oh. Still undefined. What will this do? Contacts में से 0th वैल्यू लेगा ये, उसके अंदर जो फर्स्ट, obviously name won't do anything. Still it's Akira because nowhere in there it says first name, does it? FIRST. Oh, camel case. Okay, we have something. Let's see what this returns. It returns contacts to props. So it returns, if we have Akira and likes. So this thing returns what? It returns an array prop likes, तो उसकी likes को रिटर्न करेगा what? This shouldn't be 2, this should be 0. These are coding and browning points. Okay, if both are true, then return the value of that property. एंड इट्स प्रीटी क्लियर विद दिस। ये तो एक स्टेटमेंट है। ओके, ये ला दिया। अब इसको हम लोग रिकर्सिव फंक्शन में कैसे लिखेंगे? चलो दूसरा भी आर्ग्यूमेंट लिखते हैं। हमें क्या चाहिए? नेम इज एन एक्चुअल कॉन्टेक्स्ट। फर्स्ट नेम ये 0 का कुछ वेरिएबल बनेगा एंड Akira likes, sorry, let's see, property is a property, so we also wanted to check whether whether the property like this exists. We do have a function for that. Have to check what that is, what the name of that is, what that function is. Has own property. Yes, that is the method. Thank you. And what prop is in fact whether a property so not this, sorry, has own property, and inside this will go prop. But what has own property? Each of it. Oh yeah, so the same way we wrote this, we'll also write, we'll put that in the function, won't we? But sorry, so if both of them return true, then it will return the property of that contact. Good. Okay, ये लिख दिया। अभी इसको हर एक में चेक करना पड़ेगा ना, वो कैसे लिखेंगे? Then we go to if not. Oh, by the way, yeah, if none of this turns out to be true, it will do nothing. As in it will go to the next step. So yeah, if is correct. अब इसका क्या करेंगे, किससे करेंगे? What is it? Or if I want to check it with all of them, not only one. Something about, yeah, recursive, yeah. ऊपर से नीचे जाना है, नीचे से ऊपर जाना है, ऊपर से नीचे जाना है। कि इसके अंदर हम लोग रिकर्सिव फंक्शन लिखेंगे। Let's see whether we can write one or not. So contacts, अभी इसमें 1 0 1 2 3. Oh yeah, I want you to run this function until this becomes true. How do we call it? Ask it to call itself again and again and again. Until this becomes true. Oh yeah, we learned about recursion, didn't we? Let's refer to that. That's what we literally learned it in the previous lesson. This is multiplication. ऐसे ही कुछ होगा. Okay. Do we put more functions inside one function? Then because we need to call it again. until it becomes true. If we figure this out, we can simply change this to whatever value this thing returns, whatever's inside contacts. या फिर इसको पूरा रीराइट करना पड़ेगा. I have no clue. How do we go about it? Let's read you. So we have a function called multiply array number. If n is less than or equals to 0, you return this. अच्छा, तो ये ट्रू में आ जाएगा. ठीक है. Else rerun this multiple times. Okay, this is the beginning, or then this is the end of the if statement. I'll play the music again for you guys. I need to think about this so you can listen to the music and not hear the air. Guys, it seems I can't figure it out. I can't understand figuring it out. What to write, what to, uh, how to do this, how to solve this. So I'm going to take a short break. No long live streams for today. I'll probably take it a little easy today. So I'll see you guys back again, back online at, what time is it? It's 1 o'clock. I'll see you guys back again at 2 or 2:30, somewhere in that. And until then, ciao. See you back live again. And thank you for watching. Thank you.